Hey BookTube, let's talk about Passenger by Alexandra Bracken.
I got my ticket for the long way round.
I'm Jen and I talk about audiobooks, and today I want to talk to you about Passenger by Alexandra Bracken. This is her new novel and it's all about time travel, and I love books about time travel. This is all about Edda, who is a violin prodigy, and she can travel through time, but she doesn't know that. She finds out that she is part of one of a very few families that have this ability. And so she doesn't know, and she gets shoved through time, and she winds up on a ship, like a sailing ship in 1776. She's on the ocean during the time of the Revolutionary War, and she comes in the middle of essentially a pirate ship overtaking another ship. And she's introduced to Nicholas, who is the love interest and the other main character. And then it becomes the story of how the head of one of these families wants to take over all of the families, and he wants something that he thinks Edda can find throughout time. And so he sends her on a mission, and he sends Nicholas with her. And the story then becomes them trying to accomplish this mission without satisfying the big bad guy. And they have, secrets between them regarding the mission. So it ends up taking you from 1776 and that time period to 1940s London with the Blitz, and then to Cambodia in the 1500s, and the Middle East in another time period. And so it's all over the place, and all of those time periods are well explored. Not in depth, but you really get a sense of what's happening and where they are. Now, the narration was done by Saskia Maarleveld, and I did not care for that at all. I started it on audio and I got a little ways in and I thought, no, this isn't working for me. So I ended up reading the bulk of the book as an ebook. The narration did not work for me because Saskia Maarleveld has a very underlying softness, like almost a whisper to her voice. When she was just relating one event to the next, it sounded like she was whispering. And even in the dialogue, there were times when the dialogue was very strong and people were yelling, and she couldn't get beyond this. And that just didn't work for me. I'm sorry. In addition, while some of her voices were good and she did a few accents that were good, her voice for Nicholas, who is one of the main characters, was terrible. This is primarily because there's a lot of diversity in this book. He is a Black American. He is an African American. She is a white girl. She's a European American. It's not true all of the time, but for the most part, there's just a difference in the way we all sound. Her voice for him was like this.
"I ought to throttle you for this," he continued. "Is anything hurting other than your cheek and hand? I've cleaned your cuts as best I could." She shook her head. Aside from those things, she was fine. Mostly. "Dizzy." He sucked in a sharp breath. "That is traveler's sickness. It'll ease with every passage."
Now, he's supposed to have somewhat of a British accent because of the time period. I mean, people have been in America, and some, the mixing of the accents has happened on some level. But I don't think, should sound nearly as British as he sounds. And she just didn't get it. The range for that voice that she did was just not low enough and not well enough distinguished. So that just did not work for me. So that disappointed me. Now, the book as a whole was wonderful. I loved the way that they jumped in and out of the time periods, and time travel is tricky because you can set rules and then it's easy for an author to slide in some little thing that happens that does not adhere to the rules, which makes the time travel not make sense. But it didn't happen here. They were just able to jump, and you knew why, and you knew how they did it, and it made sense. Alexandra Bracken, in her writing, her real strength is to develop characters, and she was wonderful at that in this particular book. She just draws her characters so well. I really liked her Darkest Mind series, and I loved living with those characters, and I think this is going to continue in this book, that love for the characters and, the way you get to know them on a very deep level. So I really enjoyed that, and like I say, I'm really looking forward to the next books in this series. It's going to be hard to wait because I want to see where the story goes as well. The story is good. The whole idea that this one guy, this head of the family, and there are families that can time travel, and the idea that he wants to take over all of them and control all of time, essentially. That's a really good one. And, you know, the object of their mission is also a good one, and it's going to play out really nicely in the future. So, good side characters, great story. What can I say? This is a book I can highly recommend. I gave it 4 stars, and I really enjoyed it. So, those are my thoughts. Have you read the book? I would love to know what your thoughts are. So, let's talk about that in comments. And that is it for now for me. I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.
I'm gone. You're gonna miss me when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me by my walk. You're gonna miss me by my taco. You're gonna miss me when I'm gone.